Alright!
No ho.
No ho ho ho. It's been a while, because Milton, sucked. But we're...
We were very fortunate.
Yes.
Some people were not. It was very scary. But Milton was not happy.
No, it was not. And now, we finally are together at the same time in the evening, so it is time to find a way to get into that. Well, no, it's not. We don't even have to get into the haunted mansion, right?
We were just in it.
Oh wait. No, yeah, we did finish that case.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's been so long. Ooh, 7 years early.
It's a Gumshoe.
Yeah. Apparently that's the defendant.
Uh-oh.
Hmm. So his name's Mr. Faraday.
But didn't you say she was the daughter of?
Yeah, so... It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Edgeworth. Oh dear. Sir. Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know.
That's a whole lot better than the Phoenix.
Yeah.
With what? I just found this.
I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Phoenix is just like, oh yeah. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is just about to complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection. I understand, sir. To have the chance of standing court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud. As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion. Yes, sir. That such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance, I have to be perfect in every way. So wait, we're actually going to be in a courtroom this time for this case, and in the opposite?
This is 7 years prior to the
Yeah. That'll be pretty cool, I hope. This trial should have ended in just 1 minute, because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct? Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He has been cornered by his very own prey. Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byrne Faraday? He is a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense. Nonsense. He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. Those who cannot be brought to court. That is nonsense, for no man is above the law. Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. The prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters. Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals, I see. Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday will not be forgiven. Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused prosecutor Byrne Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt. Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma. So have you achieved a firm understanding of the case? Yes, sir, I've memorized everything that is written down in the case files. Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you're talking about. Understood. Murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Cadopian Embassy. The victim, Mr. Deadman, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Cadopian embassy as well. At first, Rell claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deadman. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie. It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. Ah, yeah, inanity. I haven't heard that word in a while. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth. Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rell as the murderer. The act of Mr. Rell firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitor's gallery. Upon seeing that, the defense retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. By the real Yatagarasu, Byrne Faraday.
Sorry.
It's okay, I forgive you.
I've been drinking a lot of a shake.
That sounds about right. However, you forgot one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Cadopian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident.
We've heard that before, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure we have. Well, even among the police, it's information that only a select few are privy to. Could you enlighten me, sir? Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident? In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents. This is a 3-year-old newspaper. You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct? Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling. Ah, that guy. Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group, and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Wasn't a Cadopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder? Yes, a Cadopian by the name of Manny Coachen was the suspect. However, due to the lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Lack of evidence? Ah, if only I was in charge of the case. I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt. To make sure that all criminals were found guilty, my mentor really is dedicated. Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever. Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well. That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization. Just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify. Catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident. So that's why it is being called the second KG-8 incident. Yes. Yet there is one difference between the two incidents. What would that be? The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, I better find out more. If it is true that Yatagarasu showed up at the Cadofian embassy, what could he or she have been after? No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly, or more likely to steal secrets from the Cadofian embassy itself, since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police. What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police? I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member had been killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say? That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct? Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday. Mr. Faraday, he happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well. He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yatagarasu case. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. Yeah, what is it, little girl? You're scary, mister. Did you need something? I want to trade these coins with you. Notice how, like, Edgeworth and Manfred, they both have the same eyes closed, just... Yeah. Yeah. A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies, but it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want? Thanks, that's exactly what I needed. Could that child be here to watch the trial? How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore? I don't know. I mean, we're talking about pennies and quarters, but...
I know, I mean, like, it's like Japanifornia, I guess?
Yeah, Japanifornia, or, like, Tokifornia. I don't even... Probably what you said. Why, do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I am so sorry. I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant. It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. A proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. Where is everyone? Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either? Bailiff, where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure, I wasn't really paying attention. Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Yeah. I'm to think of it the other day with my grandson. Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume, however. Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to? It's an emergency, sirs! Silence! There shall be no yelling in this sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once. Please, wait, you have to listen to me. There's an emergency. Defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday and the defendant. The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor. What? 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 The third KG-8 incident? Stay back. No one's allowed to be on the crime scene, period. Just who does this oddball think he is? This is becoming quite the hotspot. Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney? Hey you, no running in the hallway, pal. And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh? I'll have you know, madame, that I studied under Manfred von Karma. Do not take me for some naive novice. Ooh. Do not take me for some naive novice?
She laughed. Oh,
yeah, I thought she was gonna... So you're a student of Von Karma. I should have... These clothes are a dead giveaway. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay? I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort. Hahaha, just kidding. I was just goofing around. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Calisto Yu. Yeah. And if you're telling the truth, then we were about to go head-to-head in court. But of course, I have heard much about you, Miss Yu. But of course, I have heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare. Did I say something funny? I'd like you to update me on the situation. I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there? If that's the case, then why are you here? What's so funny? It's just the way you speak is so tactless.
The person isn't exactly the best. With her torso that goes on forever and her justice earrings to scale.
Yeah, I know.
I
noticed the scales of justice immediately. It's not like I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened. That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. It's fine, don't worry about it. Excuse me, but who are you? Dr. Tyrell Bad, homicide. Tyrell Bad? Tyrell Bad? Just say Tyrell Bad? Kitty, get off the TV so I can read. Like, I think it says, like, he was informed about it. Kitty, come on. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as I could. Come on, Kitty. She doesn't like to get picked up. Come on, Kitty. Yeah, I know. There we go. So, how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial, plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requested that you be here. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? That's what it looks like. I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. Man, this guy. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Why is this guy so mean? Is he threatening me? Yeah, I think he is, and he's got the bullet holes to prove it. Oh dear. Is he going for his gun? Just the mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, a Mr. Mackerel, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Is there anyone else who wants him to defend in lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impudence. This guy is really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Oh, Edgeworth, you have yet to know the ways. Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics, in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not. Well, well, looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. And you are? Who, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a district prosecutor. Prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal. I've told you my name, now would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe. Just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first. This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident? You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right? I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know. Wow, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge, so you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to the defendant lobby number 2. So you were on guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty? Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze. You're a detective and a measly gunshot scared you that much. Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range. That is true. Then Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there dead. Is that everything? Yes, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of the struggle. Interesting. Other than the gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion. Miss Yu? There is someone here who wishes to see you. Who is it? A Cadopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Coachen. What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moves just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Was it Manny Coachen? I'll be right there. It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu. Why are you here? I've no desire to ever see you again. Now, actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat? Fine, let's go. Bad. Von Karma, it's been a long time. I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case as no exception. Do you know Detective Bad, sir? Yes, he's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of the crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective. It's not like I don't know that. Moving on, though, Bad. The man that I just passed by? Was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident? Yes, I was right. Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile! I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes. Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. Very well. Back on topic, I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here. Papa, how can you place him in charge? Franziska, what are you doing here? I'm here for summer vacation. What else? We've never seen even younger Franziska. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his who's also junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it. You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? Ha! If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never! Why does she always have to be this competitive? Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I'm 100% confident that I can do a better job than him. But just like Franziska. She had no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Bad, yeah? These two will be conducting the investigation. What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene? Ha! This is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills. A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad, and I will not tolerate complaining.
Each roll is twice the food. $6 for a Swiss roll.
$9 for beef jerky?
$7 for a hot dog.
The heck?
Ham sandwich is $8, except for the part. Even the drinks are $5.
That's a bit disturbing.
In Japan and California, it was $5.
Maybe? Yeah.
This game's kind of old, because that's even high by right now standards.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because the game, when did the game come out? Was it like 09, 2010, 2011? Something like that.
No,
Understood, sir. Well, they better be giving you a gallon if it's $7. And even then, that's a little much. I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me. Hold up on Karma. I still haven't agreed to this. Miles Edgeworth. It's been quite some time, Franziska. This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. Would it kill you to at least say hello? Long time no see? Very good. Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud. She hasn't changed a bit. Miles Edgeworth? As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name. For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter. It looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him, he never fails. Now, I'd appreciate it if you can quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. Very well. It seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task.
Oh dear.
It's the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously. Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking. What are you talking about? I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. A competition. The person that figures out the truth first wins. So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name. Exactly, I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolishly foolish mouth. Fine, whatever makes you happy. Can I take that as you accepting my challenge? Once again, whatever makes you happy. Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am. Beginning to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. You kids over there, hold it. Kid. Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid. I said kids, kid. How dare you call me a kid as well? I'll do whatever I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. So, how old is 13. Wow. Gumshoe's 26. 24. Bad's 53. We'll never know the judge. Hey, big guy. You're going to watch over these two. Yes, sir, Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay? You better not get in our way, Scruffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. Eek! Then you, Prosecutor Boy. Let's get your investigation started already, alright? Great, now even that detective is treating me like a child. Alright, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, Prosecutor Boy. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and if you were to call me Prosecutor one more time, Prosecutor Boy, one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. The beginning of the salary cutting noises. What would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was? That's up to you now, isn't it? Really? Sounds good, pal. He's so naive. Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the man acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. It had been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented. But then why does Detective Bad know that? Wait, what if? It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid. He's going to treat me like a child forever. Unless, like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, but then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. Let's first find conclusive evidence so as to protect the honor of the Von Karma name. Alright, so I want to see the bag first, actually. There's some stuff in the bag, pal. I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. This is the evidence? I better not touch it, I'll leave prints on it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? Yeah. Like, I know we gotta investigate the bodies, but the window was open and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. The flowers in the garden there are so gross and ghastly. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the third floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there were also iron bars on the window? Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off.
Maybe it's from the window.
Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other, however. Using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha! What was that outburst for? My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, Detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me when it's this guy. Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between these two men?
That really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've been curious about that. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell, and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science, even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about that handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. First he killed a Cadopian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know. What makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deadman. Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yep, do you know about it? It's a special feeling that all We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Mr. Faraday, how ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse. Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of this murder. Right. I'm on it, pal. I think we got everything. Wait. His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Yeah, on the side of his hand. Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. Feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Mr. Rell's cause of death was for being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? Can't confirm Mr. Rell's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bat, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby? Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
It looks like she's got like riding pants on for the horse. And the horse boots.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. There's the pen, there's the knife wound, and there's this. So, do the pen so he knows first. Something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby. Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Mr. Faraday is holding the gun in his right hand. That's one Mr. Rell got blown away by, right? Labby, your answer? Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun. Oh, ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on the bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from. Yes, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal. Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy. Eek, come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya? So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rell. Not in the chest. It takes some guts to fire a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round grows very hot as it's discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. He has now tried to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from space trial evidence, then aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go. Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Well, I know the ink stuff should fit. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand, I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I see, good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. Which means he didn't shoot the gun.
Yeah, but it's not, like, in real life, it's not uncommon for people who are left-handed, like, do things right-handed.
Right. Particularly, I think that.
I think for the game, obviously, it's important. The window in the
I mean, I thought the fact that this was undisturbed and this wasn't might be like, it's weird the bags are all over the floor, but nothing was disturbed on the table. But I could be off on that too. There was a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Ugh, please get that blood away from me, pal. Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal. So... It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding. Ouch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed. Just keep your mind on the case, alright? Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. Now that must, detective. Well, we already saw that. But... Ah, I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me. Ah, as you wish. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Rell. It looks like they killed each other to me. Although there are a few things that just don't seem right. What would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? Now I've been downgraded to just boy. There's stuff in there, but we can't look in it right now. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Looks like the sofa is ready to be disposed of. It's so soft, I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing. If only I could dispose of him. Whoa! What is Detective Gumshoe? He's probably just surprised at how big the TV is. My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. And perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Oh, let me see here. Wow, this thing's huge. Whoa! I'm way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. Foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. No way, pal, really? I suppose I'll just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. So I'm gonna guess it's this. Eureka! Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. Yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. How could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else. Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure was behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Here's the autopsy report. It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from the stabbing. Interesting.
And he didn't have said that he died instantaneously from the stabbing, right?
Yeah, let's look at it again. Where is that? Oh, crime scene notes. Rell died of a bullet wound to the chest. Faraday died instantly. So it doesn't make sense that he should be on top then. Yeah.
And he wouldn't have had time to shoot.
Right. So.
He would have been close to him because for him to stab him and him die instantaneously and be able to pull the trigger, they'd have to be.
sure we know everything? Of course, the incident began when Mr. Faraday attempted to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt. If you really believe that to be the truth, are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? Yeah. It's alright, if you disagree with my argument and prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. So, he had to have attacked first if the death was instantaneous. Makes sense, but we're looking for holes in it.
Hold it!
You truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see, it's been documented, clear as day. Arr.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? I hate to repeat myself, however. Mr. Faraday died instantly. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantly, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him.
Hold it!
So you believe the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday. Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. In the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Can you say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing, however, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony. Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
About this statement, Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do. I just won't compare the damage her crop can do to the state of this room. Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you? No, that will be fine.
Hold it!
Out of this one. Claiming speculation is fact already, don't you feel that the evidence is a bit lacking? You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around the room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rell. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess from their fight. Yeah, I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip a whip at. Looks like she's becoming more and more confident. Whippity whip. And looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory. Let me see. I just want to make sure that we're not going to go over the time. You sure aren't the nod off? I wonder if we're able to get contradiction before we sign out. They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Thing is, Detective Gumshoe didn't hear anything.
Okay, what do we have to do? Struggle anything? We're trying to find a contradiction to that.
Yeah, and I feel like, because that's the statement she added. But, like, Gumshoe didn't hear anything.
So we can up and stop them.
Give me that too.
Objection! Objection!
The testimony from Gumshoe. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Ah, you place too much faith in the detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How, then, did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. So what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Isn't there something strange in her statement just now? We can decide if it's strange next time. So, I mean, we can always make a new recording if we wanted to, but since we can't stream right now, like, it's going to record over if I go past 60 minutes, so... Alright, so save the full video. Until next time.